This is Bikini Bottom. It's a big city, and naturally, it'll need a bus route. Well, let me tell you, this town's bus route makes 0 sense. Like, alright, we all know what Con Street looks like. There's never a bus stop or anything like that.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
Ah, beautiful. Just how you remember, right? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but take a look at this.
I don't care where you're going, just take me away from here!
Those of you with OCD probably just had your heart shrivel up a bit, like me, and there is plenty more to discuss. A lot more to worry about with this bus system than just disappearing and reappearing signs. And I'm gonna tell you all about it, at the cost of my sanity, probably. That's right, today I'm showing you exactly how the Bikini Bottom bus system works and doesn't. It mostly doesn't. Seriously, how do these poor fish folk get around? Now, before we dive too deep, I think we should get our foundation set up. This is an official bus map of all of Bikini Bottom, and it looks like we got 5 routes: the express, the direct, the X-Town, the indirect, and the scenic routes. And apparently some of these routes are just loaded with buses. I mean, if this map is to be believed, there should be a bus on Con Street every 3 frackin' minutes. I don't know if I believe that, and I don't have to, because quite simply, this entire map is bogus, and you needn't look any further than maybe the most famous bus-centric episode in the series, Rock Bottom, to understand why. At the beginning of that episode, SpongeBob and Patrick are leaving Glove World, where we get our first glimpse at how the inside of one of these things works.
Let me get my wallet. Wait, let me check this pocket. Patrick, you got any change?
Keep that in mind for later. SpongeBob has to pay. Wait, how much was it?
How much do you need?
How much is it?
50 cents.
50 cents.
Right, he needs 50 cents to ride the bus. Lovely. Anywho, store that in the back of your noggins. So the bus from Glove World ends up taking SpongeBob and Patrick beyond the limits of Bikini Bottom and into
Rock Bottom. It sure is weird around here.
Wouldn't want to be stuck there. But alright, now we know we're looking for a bus route that connects Glove World to Rock Bottom, and there really isn't one on that map we saw. The closest one we have is that green route, the indirect line, which only has 1 bus show up a day on the 3rd minute of the 13th hour, and well, Rock Bottom's buses to Bikini Bottom are a tad more frequent than that. That's 3 in the span of like 2 seconds. So that combined with the way this green path really isn't a path from Glove World to Rock Bottom in the first place, kinda makes this map completely worthless to us. Burn it with fire. So in that case, what can we do to get footing? Well, I think all we really have as an option is seeing what places the bus actually even stops at in the series and see if we can even start to piece together how this all really works. And you know what? While we're earlier in the video, let's go back to Con Street. Of course, I already showed you the case of the magical bus stop that randomly pops up in front of Squiddy's house, but for old time's sake, here it is again. Absolutely thrilling. Well, I got big news for you. It's even more magical than we thought. Here's the bus stop again and Gary's new toy. Let me know if you spot anything different about it.
Gary! What are you doing here? Waiting for a bus?
Yep, now it's to the right of SpongeBob's place, not in front of Squidward's. Not to mention it has a chum bucket ad on it. Also, the sign is different. At Squidward's, the sign spelled out bus stop completely, but with this one, it's just bus. Someone got lazy, I guess. But alright, what I'm gathering from that clip is that the bus stop is on SpongeBob's side of the street, right? Is that what I'm getting here?
Good night, Squidward!
Well, no. Not only is that the bus stop showing up again at Squid's house, but now his sign just says bus as well. Well, now I'm just feeling bad for Patrick. He's being left out. Why doesn't he have a bus stop all to himself?
Oh, somebody have a can opener!
Well, alright, technically he doesn't have a sign, but that counts. Technically the bus did stop at Patrick's house, and most public transport isn't just gonna go out of the way to drop everyone off exactly where they live. But even with all that said, it looks like Pat's the only one who doesn't have a sign, or at least that's what I thought, till I saw this clip from the Pink Purloiner. SpongeBob and Patrick are arguing about whether Pat stole a jellyfishing net or not. They argue outside of Pat's rock, and eventually, the pudgy starfish gets tired of arguing.
I'm leaving Bikini Bottom.
Patrick, no!
Okay, so Patrick does have a sign out in front of his place. Oh, things are getting so inconsistent here. But here's maybe the most insane inconsistency of all. Let's play 2 clips I've already shown back to back, and you tell me what the issue is.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
All right, Patrick heading past SpongeBob's place and down the street. Next clip. The bus is heading past SpongeBob's house to deliver Patrick. You see what I'm getting at? The bus doesn't even drive down a consistent side of the road. I don't see any split lane indicators. Okay, maybe I'm getting a bit overflustered. A lot of neighborhood streets are two-way and have no lines. Before we move on to the next location the route takes us, here's a clip from I Was a Teenage Gary showing us that SpongeBob's house is a bus stop but also has no sign. Oh, how beautifully inconsistent. If you're walking on Con Street, you may just have to pray to Neptune you know where to wait for a bus, which for SpongeBob, a guy who can't drive, is a major problem. Let's get a bit more down to earth with this next one. We're moving on up to Sandy's Treedome, which is surprisingly having a bus drop by very often. Like even back in season 1 with the episode Texas, we see Sandy walk out of her Treedome packed up and ready to head back to land, and what comes to take her there? A bus. Now, again, there's no bus stop there, so Sandy must have had to either be real lucky to know the bus was coming or just know that it's a place where the bus stops by consistently, which, judging on what I'm about to show you, is probably very likely. Just a mere 3 seasons later in Chimps Ahoy, alright, it's kind of long, but still, Sandy's ready to head back to Texas yet again.
'Cause the things I'll miss are the friends I've come to know.
And would you look at that? They upgraded the bus stop outside of Sandy's to be, well, an actual bus stop this time. Wow, actual development. A bus stopping in a consistent place and a stop being built after not having one before. Nothing could possibly derail this moment. Nothing. The editor's definitely not about to play a clip where I'm being contradicted. Holy mother of mackerel, I'm gonna lose it.
Whoa! Right now!
Please, please tell me it comes back. Nope. Okay, alrighty. Thank you, house sitting for Sandy, for setting that straight. Cartoons. It's cartoons is not that big of a deal. For the sake of having a cohesive video, I'm like, but no, it's not their job to make my job easier. At the very least, it's consistently placed in front of Sandy's place. So, you know what? Can't complain. Actually, now that I think about it, how does the bus go from the ocean to Texas anyway? What fish would even want to be on land? Well, this section just raised more questions than answers, so, moving on. Would you believe me that we're getting even less logical with this next location? And to clarify, I'm talking about this place bus stops, not the prices. If you can guess from my incredibly clever transition, we're talking about the Krusty Krab, which may be one of the least consistent bus stops yet. Though still, this isn't as much of a game changer as what comes next, so stick around. Krusty Krab and the Bikini Bottom bus routes are actually tied together really closely. Even in the first episode, we have maybe one of the most iconic scenes in the series featuring, you guessed it, buses.
Anchovies!
This is why people hate customer service jobs. I mean, you remember that, right? It's more than a bit weird that the buses circled the restaurant like a pack of hungry sharks, but you know, I want to give it a pass just because it's such a staple of my nostalgia gland, even if there's no bus stop visible. I guess I'll let it go as long as the rest of the series treats the Krusty Krab's bus stops the same way. I only expect packs of buses circling from here on out. So, what's the next time we see a bus in the Krusty Krab? Well, in the episode Graveyard Shift, of course.
I didn't know the buses ran this late. Well, they're dropping someone off.
No bus sign, no pack of buses, no logic. I should be mad, but this is the hatchling and slasher we're talking about. I couldn't possibly be mad. None of it makes any sense to begin with. Heck, when this is the way the episode ends, I think bus stop logic may be the least of my concerns.
Nosferatu!
Okay, but not gonna lie, that ending scared the bejeebers out of me as a kid. German expressionism isn't my thing, I guess. How many of you get that joke? Say so in the comments, or don't. I'll just cry a bit about it. But, alright, we got 2 different types of bus stops at the Krusty Krab. The Wolf Pack one that makes 0 sense, and the normal bus stop without an actual bus stop thing that's still weird, but apparently is a common thing in Bikini Bottom. Which one should we believe is the real bus stop at the Krusty Krab? Will we actually get a firm answer? Yes, actually. Take a look at this clip from Band in Bikini Bottom, and you'll find your answer. That's a bus parking out front, and it came in the exact same direction as the Hash Sling and Slashers bus too. Folks, we may have our answer, but I want one more example to be sure. Alright, there's a slight issue with that clip. The bus came in a different direction than the other 2 times it showed up at the Krusty Krab the normal way. However, we talked a bit about the roads earlier, so I'm willing to assume that it's just another unmarked 2-way street we're dealing with here. But yeah, I think that clip from Squidward and Clarinet Land settles it. Buses heading to the Krusty Krab will always arrive out front, as long as we aren't talking about anchovies, I guess.
Bye, Squidward. Enjoy your trip.
Golly Gooper, every time I have something good going, it keeps pulling me back in. That's a clip of the bus showing up behind the Krusty Krab. Why would a bus show up behind the Krusty Krab? And poor Squidward getting run over. Maybe he wouldn't have been hit if he knew there was a bus stop there. But oh wait, everywhere's a bus stop in Bikini Bottom. If there's no signs, who's to say everything can't be a bus stop? And dear viewer, it only gets worse. I've saved the best for last. Magic buses are straight up things in Bikini Bottom. Not magic school buses, that's a different show. I'm not even talking about the buses that go straight up 90-degree walls. No, that's just cartoon logic. I'm talking about real, full-on, magic floating buses. Maybe the most forgotten about bus instance comes from the episode of The Clash of Triton, where for one time only, the bus decides to be able to fly and transport SpongeBob to a magical island in the sky.
Thanks again, Mr. Bus Driver.
Again, it feels wrong to even bring up that there's no designated stop location there when we just witnessed the thing decide to fly for no reason. And no, that's not just a one-time thing. SpongeBob isn't the only one who can ride a magic bus. Apparently, even the idiots of the world have access to this sort of transportation.
Y'all hurry.
I'll do the same as I have before. I commend the bus for being able to at least stop at the same place twice. Now, does that make up for being able to fly? No, buses don't fly in the year of our Lord 2026. It's a cartoon. Let me pop off, King, okay? Buses can't fly is not a controversial statement. I mean, what other bus can you think of that can fly that aren't the magic school bus? We've been over this. Well, actually, there's one more that comes to mind in this series, and it's from everyone's favorite special, Atlantis Squarepantis. After assembling the Atlantean amulet, this thing pops into existence. Oh yeah, this bus is just bound to make sense. Every bus that pops through a blue portal is just perfectly explainable. Like how it doesn't use gas to operate, but uses song. Your car operates like this, right?
To a land where all our dreams come true.
This bus flies via song, and this is the only way to get to the lost city of Atlantis. No other way to get there. That's honestly pretty baller. Arriving to Atlantis in a bus full of song is perhaps one of the most SpongeBob things I can think of. All right, I think we actually learned something here today, believe it or not, ladies and gents. The buses in Bikini Bottom kind of just stop wherever they need to without any actual bus stop being needed. Did you need a YouTube video telling you this? Probably not. Am I really glad you stuck till the end anyway? Absolutely. But yeah, there can be stops occasionally, as we saw with Sandy's house and Con Street, but I'd say like most of the time, there's rarely ever going to be an actual physical stop location. Wait, hold on, this isn't the end? What's this episode? Squids on a Bus? I've never heard of this one. What is this?
Krabby Patties!
That's one.
And have a beautiful day.
That's two.
And that's it!
That's three. That's four. And that's five. Huh. We really have to show that off when I was doing my outro, really? My theory has now been proven wrong 5 times over by the episode Squids on a Bus. Why does the Grim Reaper need to ride a bus? What is this, Family Guy? All right, so never mind. We really have learned absolutely nothing. Thank you, Bikini Bottom Bus Route, for having 0 rules ever. You know what? I'll at least give them this. At least they remember that little factoid from Rock Bottom that yes, the bus costs money.
I think I left my wallet in my other wallet.
I got exact change.
I can at least sleep tonight knowing that the economy of Bikini Bottom exists. Didn't say it makes sense, mind you, just exists. But that's all I got for y'all today. Be sure to click the video on screen right about now for more nautical nonsense, if that's something you wish, of course. As always, guys, thank you for watching. See ya!